Welcome back to the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. I have Laurie Hammer here today. She is a functional nutritional therapist. She's the creator of the Calm Mom Method. It is a science-based approach that helps women break free from chronic stress, anxiety, and exhaustion, all things that we can definitely relate to as people with Hashimoto's. Welcome, Laurie. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Esther, thank you so much for having me. I love your podcast and I love what you're doing. You have an amazing mission. I am, like you said, a functional nutritional therapist. I am also a wife, a mom, a grandma, and I've been doing this for a very long time with amino acid therapy. And I don't know, I love life. We have horses, dogs, cats, rabbits. We have the whole gamut.
Nice. That is awesome. So tell us, you said amino acid therapy. Will you
Mhm.
tell us like what is that and what got you started?
So, amino acid therapy is using therapeutic doses of specific amino acids to target very specific neurotransmitters, in your body so that we can boost your mood, so you can overcome anxiety, depression, OCD, all sorts of those things. I discovered this back in 1996, so a long time ago. I am 52, so it's been a while. I had anxiety, depression. I was in a 12-year battle with an eating disorder, so I was bulimic. And I was introduced to amino acid therapy at that time as there was an outpatient clinic that I ended up going to because I couldn't get into any inpatient clinics because I didn't fit all their parameters. So a friend of mine sent me an article on this place in Mill Valley, California, and they did outpatient. And that was my first intro to functional nutrition and most importantly, the amino acid therapy, because honest to goodness, Esther, it really saved my life. So once I could, the anxiety, the depression lifted with the amino acids, then the craving cycle stopped. And then I wasn't on that hamster wheel of, the bulimia anymore, and I got my life back.
That is amazing. So amino acids, they are part of our food,
Yes.
right?
hmm
So when you say you tried amino acids, did they give you like whole foods or what happened?
No, these are supplements. So we'll use tryptophan as an example. Tryptophan is an amino acid. It targets your serotonin in your body. And so a therapeutic dose of tryptophan would be like 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams, maybe higher. But you actually, when they trialed them on me, they opened up the capsules, put them under my tongue, and we stared at each other for a couple minutes and like, do you notice anything? Do you feel different? And most of the time people do. And I still do that today. So we don't do urine testing. We don't do blood testing. I do the sublingual trialing with the amino acids. So we get an immediate effect. So when you're done with that appointment with me, you know if they're going to work or not.
That's awesome. How many amino acids are there?
There are 22 amino acids.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you trial all 22?
No, I send you a kit of 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't need to do all of them. We do the ones that are very specific to mood and,
Okay.
rebalancing those. There's more that we could use, but I find often we just don't need to.
Okay. So tell us more about autoimmunity and thyroid and how what your work does relating to that.
Yeah, so the goal of amino acid therapy is to, like I said, to nourish those neurotransmitters, which calms the neurology in our body. And so our nervous system communicates from head to toe, right? So it helps our pituitary talk to our thyroid and to talk to our adrenal glands and, whatever it might be. So you have that whole signaling cascade. When the neurology is calmer, that signaling cascade works better, right? You have less hiccups. So if we can calm the brain so that your body is calmer, that gives you more opportunity to heal. So all of the, the herbals that you're doing, the dietary changes, the gut healing, you can't really heal your gut if you're still anxious and depressed and you're still having OCD thoughts, your ADHD. If we can calm that down, do you know how much faster your gut heals?
Oh
Which
my
then helps
goodness.
to heal your
Yeah.
thyroid faster, right? So, I mean, there's just so many different components to this, but I feel like amino acids are just foundational. It's pieces of protein, and you need it head to toe. You need it to make your thyroid hormones. You need it for your enzymes, your just, your sex hormones, your hair, skin, and nails. Like your body needs amino acids from head to toe.
Right. So what I'm hearing is you need the amino acids. When you find out what you're deficient in for amino acids or what's working for you, everything else is going to work better
Yes.
physically, but also because of your new mental state, then that's
Mhm.
also going to cause more physical healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're in counseling or anything, because a lot of people are because we feel so crappy and sick, and counseling's easier, and then you might not have as much to work through as you thought you did. That was my case. I realized I didn't have as much drama and trauma in my life. Not that it discounted anything that I ever went through, but it was like, oh, I can move through that.
Right.
Like if your brain is balanced and you feel good mentally, emotionally, life can throw a lot of stuff at you. There's never going to not be stress. It's always going to be chemical, physical, or emotional. It's just there. It's just how does our body respond to it? So if we can fix the response, I firmly believe we have less autoimmune conditions. I firmly believe we have less mental health conditions. And that's what I see all the time in my practice.
Right. What are some common mistakes that you see with women coming to you?
Um, let's just do foundational, right?
Okay.
Not eating enough protein. Like thinking like fasting is huge right now, and I teach fasting. I love fasting. I run fasting retreats, and we fast too much, right? Yeah. So we have, especially around our female cycles. We need to learn how to nourish ourselves according to our female cycles. Another foundational mistake is we just don't get enough sleep. So, you have to nourish your body, and that part of that nourishment is with proper sleep. So, I teach my clients to set an alarm to go to bed so that you actually go to bed at the same time every night so that you can get pretty much the same amount of sleep. So, and it takes a while for those rhythms to shift. And I know people will try it for like a week and then they're like, oh, that doesn't work for me. Okay, you got to give it at least 90 days because it's not going to happen in a week because you've been doing this for so long. So, if we're going to go foundational, Esther, I would say those are the two biggest things. We've got to get your sleep regulated and we have to get you nourished.
Right. When you're talking nourishment, is there like a ballpark that women should aim for as far as grams of protein?
Yeah, I mean, minimum 80 to 100 grams. Some people need more than that depending on what's going on with you, but don't eat less than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have heard, conflicting things about fasting because it is
Hmm.
big. Everybody wants to push it. I read Dr. Mindy Pelz's book, Fast Like a Girl,
Yes.
and I love that book because I
It
was like,
is so
oh,
good. She's
it's
amazing. I love her to pieces.
yes. For it's nice to hear that you're not broken. Like you
Yeah,
tried fasting and it didn't work. Well, this is why, because
right.
it was from a male perspective.
Yeah.
So, how about women with Hashimoto's? What do they need to know about fasting?
Yeah, again, pay attention to your rhythms. If you start slow, right? Because you can still fast with Hashimoto's. You just really need to pay attention to your body, and as fasting will heal your body like nothing else can. I can't give you all the supplements that will do what fasting can do. Like it's just we're created that way. God created our body. The Bible talks about fasting. He expected us to fast. I mean, it just talks about that. So, but it's fasting correctly. So even with an autoimmune condition like Hashimoto's, like you could still fast. Just pay attention to your energy levels. Pay attention to your glucose levels. Like you need to prep your body before you start fasting and just do it low and slow. Like I have a whole course that teaches people, over a course of 6 weeks before you do a 3-day fast. So we just prep the body so that, it's not a shock and a stressor to the symptoms, what can make, any autoimmune condition worse.
Right. Yes, it can.
Yes.
So, tell us how stress, hormones, and the microbiome all interact for mood and energy and the immune system.
Yeah, so your microbiome produces a lot of, neurotransmitters. It produces a lot of your serotonin, like 80% of that is in your gut. And so we could go down all of the, what your gut does for your mood and how that communication along the vagal nerve and, so many different pieces there, but it's all interconnected. So we have to heal the gut. We have to heal the microbiome in order for everything else to heal as well. So your thyroid or whatever it might be. But I have found when you calm the neurology first, then that healing in the gut gets easier. And then it's like, it's just this beautiful dance that your body gets to do if we do things in the right order.
Right. How do people access amino acids if they want to try it and they want to
Yeah.
heal their brain?
Yeah, there's a lot of amino acid supplements out there. So
Okay.
I do supplementation. I do therapeutic doses. So it's not just taking like a total aminos or something like that. It's our perfect aminos. I really want to target what symptoms that you're having so that we can get you some fast relief. And that's where I use the individual amino acids. So like serotonin, anywhere from 500 to 2000 milligrams, 1 to 4 times a day.
Okay. Yeah, when you mentioned that, I have heard other people talk about perfect aminos and
Hmm.
those supplements. So
Yeah.
what's the difference between, you said, a therapeutic dose and those? What's the difference?
Yeah, so like perfect aminos is it's the 8 essential amino acids. I think they're all essential, so I hate that they do that, but nonetheless, that's science. So there's just 8 amino acids in there, and you just take like just it's a proprietary dose, So
Okay.
it's just foundational stuff. The therapeutic dosing, as like I said, is just targeted individual amino acids. Or I use even if you wanted to do on your own. It's called Total Amino Solutions by Janessa, and you can find that on infinityhealth.net. And you could do some high doses of that, and that's all of the amino acids. It's all 22 of them, which most people need anyway. So you might as well just do start doing some foundational stuff.
I'm thinking of somebody in my family, a teenager who does not have
Mhm.
Hashimoto's, but does have some mood stuff that could use some
Oh yeah,
calming.
yeah.
But he's a teenager, so he's
Hmm.
not going to want to sit down and try each one. Is trying
No,
each one the ideal or the only, or
no, that's the ideal. So then we know what you're going to respond to because we don't want to give you something you're not going to respond to. If we're going to do it as therapy, but you could start them on the total amino solutions and just say, hey, take 4 of these a day and just kind of watch what happens.
okay.
It's
Do you
just
take,
amino acids.
right? Do you
Yeah.
take all four together or space them out throughout the day?
I mean, whatever they want to take. I mean, they're kind of big, so maybe you want to space them out, but
Okay.
yeah.
When it comes to teenagers, it's just getting it
You
in
just get
whenever
them
you
get
can.
them in when you can. Yeah, exactly. I put my all of mine in like little Dixie cups for my daughter, and she just takes them whenever, it works into her schedule, and that's just what we do.
Good. Yeah, helpful for humans, not just women with
Yes.
Hashimoto's.
Yeah, it's just humans in general. It can use them on your pets too. Let's just be honest. They need the amino acids too. So I use those on my pets. Hmm.
Interesting.
Hmm.
All right. Is there anything specifically that you want women with Hashimoto's to know about anything, but specifically the amino acids and calming things down?
Yeah, just we need to learn to pay attention to nourishment in our body. So no matter what condition you have, whether it's Hashimoto's, celiac disease, MS, whatever it might be, we have to go back to the foundational principles. So we can go down so many rabbit trails, and a lot of them are good and valid, and it's fine. However, most of the time we forget those foundations. And amino acids are the foundation, fatty acids are the foundation, hydration is the foundation, sleep is the foundation. So let's go back to the foundation and make sure we've got those things covered before we're diving deeper into all these things that don't work if the foundations aren't covered. So you're not broken, you're probably just nutrient deficient, right? And so let's fix those nutrient deficiencies. And that is the goal of amino acid therapy, is to fix them and then teach you how to maintain them. So then we see what's left over. Because a lot of times there's not as much left over that we still need to deal with because you just nourished your body. And then you started sleeping, and it's amazing what happens when you start sleeping. And a lot of times our sleep is disrupted because we're nutrient deficient. So unless you start working on, some of those foundational things, it gets harder. And then you're frustrated and you're like, I've been working on this thing for like 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, whatever it might be, and I still don't feel amazing. Well, let's go back to foundations. Let's assess them, and then let's see what's still left over. And if we've covered all those foundations, then we can dive deeper into, I don't even like to call it fringy things, but just the added things. We could go down the MTHFR trail, all those kind of things. So I have so many people come, do you deal with MTHFR? No, I don't need to. I honestly don't. It's just like super rad. Like I don't even have that conversation with people because I just don't need to have it, because if we fix the foundations and then do the very specific things after that, that's not an issue. It's just kind of a mute point.
Right. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not talking about here's your dose of melatonin and here's your
No.
CBD. It's fix the foundation because now you can sleep. And then when you're
Yeah.
sleeping, the other things are going to fall into place. And
Yes.
yep,
And there's always going to be outliers, where they're like, I have really literally have tried everything and I'm still not sleeping well. And, there's still something that we haven't uncovered yet. I don't know what those things are, but, that's less than 10% of the people.
right. Because your body is created to heal and to
It
restore and to
is.
repair.
God made our bodies so amazing. So amazing. We remove those interferences, then it can heal.
Yeah, absolutely. Lori, how can people connect with you?
Oh, yeah. So On every single social channel, you can find me at Take Back My Brain, whether it's my podcast, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. You can message me. I love receiving messages on Instagram if you have a question. So go there, follow me, and message me. You can go to my website, lauriehammer.com. There's lots of resources and stuff on there as well. And you can schedule a free consult with me there too.
All right. I'll definitely have those links down in the show notes. Do you
Thank
work with
you.
people all across the world?
I do. Yes, I have people in other countries too.
Fantastic. If there's one thing somebody can remember from our conversation today, what is the biggest message you want them to remember?
Mm, God created your bodies in his image. And when we remove those interferences, then our body can heal and then we're able to better express who he created us to be. And nobody's meant to live in sickness. Nobody, that's not his plan for you. Um, so don't stop seeking that healing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Um, Quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any questions or concerns with your healthcare professional. I'll see you next week on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.